Yo people, welcome back to another video. Now this time I wanted to talk about the Judgment Day and the ongoing tension between Finn Balor and Dominik Mysterio. Now I was actually making this video before Monday Night Raw, so I've had to change a lot of it because of the injury suffered by Liv Morgan. Reports are saying that she needs surgery for her dislocated shoulder and she will be out for about 6 months, so basically the rest of 2025. I think the injury has actually created a lot more opportunities for everyone in the group and a lot more outcomes are possible. However, I'll give you which outcomes I think are likely to happen with the one that I think will ultimately happen. As always, let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you have different ideas, all of that stuff. And I'd also appreciate if you could leave a like on the video and sub to the channel. Let's get on with it. So before the Liv injury, we obviously saw how Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan were clashing. Liv and Dominik had a bit of tension between them, and Liv and Raquel had that one moment of tension. Nikki Bella was also trolling Liv, talking about, is Dominik really your man, and all of that stuff. A lot of people were basically saying that Dominik will be the person that changes the future of this group by either staying loyal to Liv or choosing Roxanne Perez. Now ultimately it does come down to Dominik Mysterio and what he chooses, but I also think that AJ Styles is someone with a bit of importance, or someone who's being overlooked in this whole thing from the moment that he announced all those months ago that he wanted to win the Intercontinental title, but I'll get into that shortly. Now, we've seen Finn Balor go from being against a new Judgment Day member joining before WrestleMania to randomly adding Roxanne Perez to the group. He's also been trying to get to Raquel Rodriguez and trying to sway her because Raquel is very loyal to Liv and he wants to just destroy the whole group basically. And at times, Raquel is the only person really sus of Finn, as far as we are aware. He's been trying to work his magic on her slowly, trying to change her mind, but I'm not sure if Raquel will give in. JD is his boy, so I think however this split goes down, I do think JD will be wherever Finn Balor goes. That's one guarantee from this. The reason I think Finn Balor has started getting so close to everyone is because when JD came back from injury, no one told Finn Balor about it, and it made him kind of feel left out and like they were scheming against him. And now he's trying to impose himself behind the scenes as the real master manipulator. We know the split is gonna happen, but now with this Liv Morgan injury, we have to wonder, will the split be slowed down? Will it be stopped completely until further notice? Like I mentioned, I think AJ Styles might be the key for all of this, and I thought at Night of Champions we'll see the culmination of all of this where Finn will betray Dominik, but I reckon it could have some sort of finish in the match where they prolong this, have a rematch, and then the betrayal happens at SummerSlam, especially because of this injury to Liv Morgan. This delay would actually allow us to see characters like Raquel Rodriguez get more solo time without Liv, and we can focus more on her thoughts, them teasing the whole tension with Dominik or with Finn, whoever they want to. Dominik's thoughts as well, we can explore him. What is he doing? How can they raise the tension? And that keeps us questioning if Finn will betray Dom, or is it going to be Dom that betrays Finn? Whatever ends up happening, I do think there are two guarantees from this. Number one, I already mentioned, and it's that JD will go wherever Finn Balor goes. And number two is that I believe Dominik Mysterio will become a babyface. However, whether it happens at Night of Champions, SummerSlam, or another random moment, this is why AJ Styles might be the key to all of this, and here's the evidence. So let's start with the fact that we've seen Karrion Kross do his whole foreshadowing promos a few months ago with AJ Styles, basically begging him to show his true colors, which was referring to AJ Styles turning heel. However, it could also be referring to his true colors as in the Bullet Club. We know Finn Balor is also a Bullet Club guy, and they've interacted in the past, especially I want to say it was before Backlash when AJ went to the Judgment Day clubhouse. He saw Finn Balor and he said, "Prince, what's up?" Clearly acknowledging the past. So all of this plants the seeds and could be heading towards a brand new Bullet Club. I do think this is definitely the most likely outcome because we know at Night of Champions it will be Dominik Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title. So this is the perfect moment to have Finn Balor cost Dominik Mysterio the Intercontinental Championship and show his allegiance to AJ Styles. This new Bullet Club would become AJ Styles, Finn Balor, JD and Roxanne Perez, which I think is the perfect mix of experience with AJ Styles and Finn Balor, alongside Roxanne, who is new to the main roster but has huge potential, and JD, who just needs more time to shine in general and more solo experience. People obviously speculate that Raquel will turn on Liv, but I think because of this Liv Morgan injury, I think Raquel will side with Dominik as they both get betrayed and become babyfaces. I also think that Dominik, regardless of how this split happens, doesn't end up alone, because it wouldn't make sense, especially with Liv Morgan being injured, so he needs someone with him. I can actually see a world where Dominik and Raquel start to build this China and Eddie Guerrero-like relationship, which would benefit both of them massively, because they get to keep growing as solo competitors while having each other's backs. Long term, we could see some sort of Dominik Mysterio and Rey Mysterio reunion, which we know is going to happen in the future. That is one of the end games for Rey Mysterio before he retires. So it could happen as Dominik is looking for new members to help him to take on this new Bullet Club. It could be Dominik Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, alongside Raquel Rodriguez and Dragon Lee also joining as they take on the Bullet Club. I'd personally replace Dragon Lee with someone like Andrade, but that's just me. I do think long term, Dominik returning with Rey Mysterio would add complications for Dominik and Liv's relationship, because I think when Liv returns, she's going to be a heel and she's going to be against Dom returning with Rey Mysterio. She's going to feel left out, like she got replaced. She seems to like Dominik because he's evil, so with Dominik being a babyface at this point, I think Liv would be against it, and that would lead to their split if Raquel and Dominik are working together as well, because that would make Liv more jealous, it would make her feel left out. My other alternative as to how this split could happen is that Dom has been playing dumb this whole time and letting Finn think he's in control, but in reality Dominik has been the real guy making the moves in the shadows. He was the one pushing for a new member for the Judgment Day, and we even saw he had asked Penta at one point to join the group. We've seen that Dominik doesn't really go ringside anymore for the Judgment Day members, especially Finn and JD, apart from obviously this week because Finn told him to. But what if the AJ versus Dominik match ends with a dodgy finish, a disqualification or whatever? Then we have Finn, Roxanne and JD try to initiate their plan on Dominik with AJ Styles on board, and then Roxanne betrays Finn and aligns with Dominik Mysterio. I know this is very unlikely, but I honestly think Dominik isn't quite ready to be the leader of the new Judgment Day or of his own faction. I'd like to see Roxanne be a babyface as well and team up with Dominik and Raquel Rodriguez, which I think would be a pretty good mix. Dominik, obviously he has that experience, he's very over right now. Raquel, she needs more time to shine by herself, and Roxanne can keep making a name for herself while having all of this potential and maybe teaming up with Roxanne or doing her own thing alongside Dominik, who knows. Also, this would be an organic way of creating a new Latino faction instead of all that forced Legado del Fantasma and LWO garbage that they give us. This outcome would actually allow us to reach the same point of Dominik Mysterio and Rey Mysterio uniting, because as I mentioned, I don't think Dominik is quite ready to lead his own faction. So someone like Rey Mysterio, even AJ Styles, if there was a crazy world in which AJ Styles rejected Finn and joined Dominik, these types of characters would be perfect. They add experience and they can really help Dominik, Raquel, Roxanne to really keep growing and doing their thing. And also these OG characters, if it's Rey, if it's AJ, they don't need to be fighting all the time. They don't need to be babysitting these guys. They can show up, do a backstage segment, and that's it. Also, if Roxanne were to join Dominik Mysterio and Raquel, she can help Raquel to defend those tag team titles, which long term would make Liv Morgan very salty. It would keep her heel narrative going for when she returns, which could set up a Liv Morgan versus Roxanne Perez feud in the future. Also, Roxanne and Dominik, they don't have to be in a relationship, they can just be friends, but it could get to a point where sometimes it's a bit flirty, but they don't actually end up replacing Liv Morgan or betraying Liv Morgan that way. It can just be a thing where Liv naturally just gets jealous, and that creates the split between them. Because personally, I'd rather Liv and Dominik end it naturally instead of him betraying Liv, because it would just feel like we already got that. It feels like a copy and paste, because last SummerSlam, he literally did that to Rhea Ripley, so I don't want to see a repeat. If anything, I want them to be cool, they can be friends, as in Roxanne and Dominik, and then Liv, if anything, is the one that ends it because she gets jealous or whatever the point is. But yeah, ultimately, I do think AJ and Finn are creating their own Bullet Club. I don't think they're going to miss this opportunity. It's way more likely to happen than the second, where Dominik is the real mastermind and betrays Finn. But regardless of what happens, I do think there are a few twists and turns along the way, especially because of Liv Morgan's injury. And as always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. How do you think this betrayal goes down? Do you think Dominik will stay on top with the title? Do you think Finn and AJ will reign supreme? And what do you think will happen with Liv Morgan's injury? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. I'd also appreciate if you could leave a like on the video and sub to the channel. Thank you for your time.